Hello students. Hello students. Today's chemistry class is on the topic acids. Acids. What is an acid? An acid is a substance which dissolves in water to produce hydrogen cation as the only positive ion. An acid is a chemical compound which dissolves in water to produce hydrogen cation as the only positive ion. An example is on the board. Example 1. Hydrochloric acid is an acid. It dissolves in water to produce hydrogen cation as the only positive ion. Again, ethanoic acid is an example of acid which dissolves in water as well to produce hydrogen cation as the only positive ion. Do you understand? Again, acids can be classified or grouped into organic acids and inorganic acids. What are organic acids? Organic acids are acids that are gotten from plants and animals. Acids that have plants and animal origin. Do you understand? An example of an organic acid is citric acid, ascorbic acid, amino acid. When you were in senior secondary biology, or in your senior secondary classes biology, do you remember when you were taught amino acids? What were you taught is the source of amino acid? Proteins, am I right? Proteins. So an acid which is naturally or originally gotten from plants or from animals is described as organic acid. Do you understand? What about all the other acids which are gotten from chemical elements? What do we call them? Inorganic acids or mineral acids. Example of a mineral acid is on the board here. Tetraoxosulfate 6 acid is an example of a mineral acid or an inorganic acid. Do you understand? While an example of the organic acid is ethanoic acid. This ethanoic acid is an example of an organic acid. The vitamin C you lick, which is ascorbic acid, also is an example of organic acid. Are you aware that we can dissolve acid in water? When you want to prepare an acid solution, when you dissolve acid in water, you have prepared acid solution. If you prepare a solution of acid and you have more acid, less water, what kind of acid solution is that? When you have more acid, less water. We call it concentrated acid solution. Do you understand? But what if you want to prepare acid solution and you have less acid, more water? What do we call that? Dilute acid solution. Now, talking about acids, somebody can ask you, what is a strong acid or what is a weak acid? How can you explain what a strong acid is? Look at the board. We have example 3. Example 4, please. This triazocarbonate 4 acid, it dissociates into a hydrogen ion and this. Did you notice the 2 lines here? One is pointing forward, the other one is pointing backward. What does that mean? It means the reaction, the dissociation of this acid is reversible. Do you know why one line is shorter than the other one? The longer one means that the reaction moves this way more than the shorter one. That means this is a weak acid. It does not dissociate into ions completely. It breaks down into ions partially. That's why the arrow pointing towards the ions is shorter than the arrow pointing back towards the molecules. Do you understand? So any acid like this which dissociates into ions, which ionizes partially, is called a weak acid. This is a weak acid. Trioxocarbonate 4 acid is a weak acid. What about this one? Tetraoxosulfate 6 acid. Tetraoxosulfate 6 acid. Did I put 2 lines here? Are you seeing 2 lines here? No. That means it ionizes completely in solution. So it is a strong acid. As you can see, HCl is another strong acid. HCl, that's example 1, is another strong acid. It dissociates completely. The arrow is just 1. But ethanoic acid, you see it has double arrows. One is shorter than the other. The shorter one shows the partial dissociation, while the longer one shows that the reaction is tending towards getting the molecules. Do you understand? You may be asked to talk about the basicity of an acid. What is the basicity of an acid? What does that mean? Look at this example 1 here. When this acid dissociates into ions, how many molecules of hydrogen ions do we have? How many? The coefficient here, what is it? 1. That means the basicity of this acid is 1. The basicity of an acid means the number of replaceable hydrogen ions in one molecule of an acid. So hydrochloric acid has 1 replaceable hydrogen ion. Do you understand? So it is monobasic. Its basicity is 1. The same thing with ethanoic acid. How many replaceable hydrogen ions do we have? Just 1. So its basicity is 1. What about sulfuric acid? That is tetraoxosulfate 6 acid. What is the basicity? You see 2 here. So the basicity of tetraoxosulfate 6 acid is 2. 2 replaceable hydrogen ions. What about trioxocarbonate 4? How many replaceable hydrogen ions? 2. So its basicity is 2. Do you understand? Do you have any question to ask so far? Do acids have any use at all? We'll find out if they have certain uses. But before we talk about the uses, let's talk about properties of acids. The first one is a physical property. Acids change blue litmus paper to red. And here with me I have a blue litmus paper. Let us see what an acid does to a blue litmus paper. I have an acid in here, and this is a blue litmus paper. So when I dip a blue litmus paper into an acid, what do you observe? Does the blue litmus paper still remain blue? Or has it changed to red? It has changed to red. So acids turn blue litmus paper to red. Do you understand? Have you tested an unripe orange before? What taste does it give you? A sour taste? Yes. That's a taste of acids. Acids have sour taste. Those two are physical properties. Acids react with bases to produce salt and water only, as can be shown on the board here. Hydrochloric acid reacts with sodium hydroxide to produce sodium chloride and water. Is this a physical property? No. This is a chemical property of acids, and this is called neutralization. And that is what we illustrate each time we carry out titration. We are titrating an acid against a base to produce salt and water only. In our next class, we'll talk about uses of acids and also how we can name some acids using the IUPAC method of naming acids.